Welcome back to another live tutorial. I'm so excited for you guys to be here today. Today we are going to draw some simple stickers in Procreate. And I'm really excited about this one. I kind of intended it to be just kind of like a chill drawing session where we're just going to be drawing some very simple little illustrations, almost doodle like, and then I'm going to be showing you some stuff about stickers. So it's going to be really cool, and you can draw along with me with whatever I'm drawing, or you can draw your own ideas and things you want to draw for your stickers too. So before we get started with the drawing, I want to go over a few things. We have some exciting stuff during this live, so let's zoom on over there. So the first thing is that we're doing a giveaway today. I'm really excited about this one. It's been a while since we've done a giveaway. So what we're going to be giving away is 5 master bundles. So that's my complete collection of Procreate brushes. We're up to 300 brushes in that set because I just released a brush set this week called Scratch Art Sgraffito, and it's for making really cool scratch art in Procreate. So now we're up to 300 brushes, 15 sets, plus my magic paper. So I'm gonna give away 5 of those. And then we're also giving away 5 $100 credits to Sticker App. And Sticker App is who I use for my stickers. You can see some, like these ones over here on the side, were printed through Sticker App. So you can print your artwork as stickers, and they're really, I really liked their website. It was really easy to use, and the stickers came out great. So really excited about that. So if you want to join the giveaway, you can go to bardobrush.com/giveaway and sign up. And we're going to announce the winners at the end of the live. So go ahead and do that, and we'll put this up one more time at the end for you to get another chance to enter, but you can go ahead and do that now. All right, the next thing is we're going to be using brushes from my Kids Make Art brush set. This is a free brush set that I have. You can find it at bardobrush.com/free. You can download it and put it into your Procreate. That's what we're going to be using today. It's got some fun brushes that are just like all your favorite art supplies as a kid that you liked as a kid, like crayons and markers, paint, colored pencils. There's a marker brush in there that I'm going to be using a lot today. Of course, you're welcome to join in with whatever brushes you want, but this is what I'm going to be using today. So again, bardobrush.com/free if you want to get that, as well as any of my other free brushes and free resources. Okay, so let's start talking about stickers, because that's what this tutorial is all about today. We're going to be drawing some cute little simple illustrations that we can make into stickers. And I actually have a big sticker series all about how to make stickers with Procreate. It's actually a 3-video series, and I have this whole sticker resource page. Should have put the link on here, I just realized, but that's at bardobrush.com/stickers. And if you if you sign up for the giveaway, I'm going to be sending an email to all those people with all these resources and stuff. So if you want to get that info, sign up for the giveaway, and then you might win something too. So it's a 3-part series, like I say, and I say there's 3 different ways that I take you through how to make stickers. So the first one is to to print them at home and cut them out by hand, which is a really easy, accessible way to make stickers. The second way is using a Cricut, which is a little bit more expensive, a little bit more of a learning curve, but I go through all about how to do that and troubleshooting and all that kind of stuff. And then the third way that I go over is printing them professionally through somewhere where you can order them online and have them print it and mail it to you, which is, I talk about Sticker App in that video and my experience using them. So that's 3 parts that, bardobrush.com/stickers if you want to learn more. Okay, enough chatter. Let's draw. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open up Procreate. And I'm going to create a new canvas. And before I get started, I wanted to let you know that if you have questions about what I'm drawing or something that I'm doing during this lesson, feel free to throw your answers in the chat. And my husband, Jeff, is here. He's always back behind the scenes manning the chat. So he'll throw out questions as they pop up. And then if you have questions that are not about this, like you just want to ask me something general, we'll do a Q&A at the end. So you can still throw those questions out and Jeff will jot them down. But we'll do a Q&A at the end for more general stuff. So feel free to ask questions. That's the benefit of doing this live. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna go up to this little plus sign to create a new canvas. And I'm gonna go with my favorite canvas size, which is 3800 by 2800 pixels. So if you follow me and you watch a lot of my videos, I use this canvas size all the time, so I recommend making a template for it. But again, it's 3800 by 2800 pixels. So I'll go ahead and open that up. Okay, so as far as what we're going to draw, I actually reached out on Instagram and in my Facebook group asking people like for suggestions about what I should draw, which was really fun just to get your suggestions and then draw those things. So that's why I chose the things that I'm gonna draw kind of, and I'm excited to show you that. So the first thing we're gonna do is just start by sketching out all the little illustrations. So to do that, I'm gonna go up to my brushes, and I'm here in the Kids Make Art set. It's got a brush called Colored Pencil, which is great for sketching. You know, I always recommend a pencil type brush for sketching. I like to often use my pencil box set, the sketching pencil from that set, but Colored Pencil from Kids Make Art works just fine. And then I already have it. Let me clear all this stuff out. Hold on. I meant to start with a clean palette. Okay. Here we go. All right, so I'm just gonna use black for my color to do my sketches. So just choose black and again, the colored pencil brush. Okay, so I'm just going to draw my little sketches and then I will rearrange them into sort of a layout afterwards. So the first thing that I was gonna draw was a little palm tree. So I'm gonna draw them pretty small. Let's see. I'm gonna actually bring my brush size down just a little bit. So for a palm tree, I kind of just draw like a slanty line like that. And then kind of some curving lines coming out like that. Kind of like little moons or little bananas. You can draw as many as you want. And it can be pretty rough because again, it's just a sketch. I might make this a little bit thicker actually. So that's a palm tree, super simple. Again, we're not going too complicated with these. Let's see, another one that was suggested to me was a dinosaur. So let's see, for a dinosaur, I'm gonna start, I'll zoom in so it's a little easier for you guys to see. I'm gonna start with like a big oval. And again, you can follow along with me and draw these, or you can draw whichever doodles you wanna draw. And then I'm gonna add some legs, kind of just like little rectangles, like that. And then this one, another one here, another rectangle. And I'm gonna add like a little, you know, like the bulky part, like his thigh. That's what that little line is. This is just a sketch, so it doesn't have to like look perfect. And then I'll do like a tail coming down. Oops. Something like that. And then I'm gonna do a neck coming up. Something like that. The head. So the great thing about sketching is, like I said, it can look really messy. You know, all these extra lines aren't going to be there in the final piece, but for now it's fine because it's just a sketch, a little eye. So super simple little dinosaur. Okay, I think I'll do like a little ice cream cone. So for the ice cream cone, and if I'm going too fast and you need me to slow down, just let me know. I know I tend to do that sometimes. So for the ice cream cone, I'm doing kind of like an oval-y shape like that. It could be an oval or a circle, however round you want it to be. And then a triangle down below for the cone. And then I like to do like little scallops for my ice cream cone, just to kind of be, you know, the part that's kind of squished down and melty. And then of course I'll have some lines going like that, but super simple. Now these are kind of big on my canvas, but I am gonna resize them, so I'm not gonna worry too much about that. Let's go over here and let me see.
And Lisa, we're using a 3800 by 2800?
That's right. 3800 by 2800 pixel canvas. Let's add a rainbow. Definitely want to include a rainbow. Like what this is gonna kind of look like is a big sticker sheet, like a bunch of stickers. And I'm gonna kind of use a limited color palette to color it all in, which we'll talk about once we get to coloring. So it'll all kind of go together. So for a rainbow, it's just kind of like an arch shape, and then you can add some lines, something like that. Again, don't worry about if it's perfect. Let's see. I think one of my suggestions was a dog, or actually somebody said specifically a French bulldog, and I think I really like, let's see, maybe I don't know dog breeds that well, but the one that's like got black on the sides and like the muzzle is white. I'll draw it and you can see if it looks like that. So for that dog, I'm gonna draw kind of like a big U shape, like that. And then a little line here so that I can make some like diagonal lines like that. So that's gonna be the top where the ears are. And I think, see if I have enough room for that. So for the ears, they're just kind of these like long, rounded, almost triangular rounded shapes. And then I'll draw the nose right here, just a little kind of circle, like oval. And then the nose, like the way that the coloration of this dog goes is it's like his snout is white with like black. If this is when you're not sure when something looks like, if I had pulled up a reference, I could look at that, but I kind of practiced this one already. So look at a reference if you're not sure. It helps a ton. That's how I had to learn how to draw this dog in the first place. So I'm just kind of drawing lines that come out like that and then kind of curve around, something like that. There we go. And then it's like white in the middle and like black on the sides, and then we'll draw little eyes. There we go. So we got a cute little doggy. Color, do the little ears. Perfect, super simple. I'm just gonna do the head of the dog. And then we'll do another one. I'll leave that one there so you can take a peek. Let's see what else I should do. One of my suggestions was a pretzel, which I love. I've got a little pretzel sticker over here that I already did. He's like meditating, doing yoga. I made these little stickers, if you guys can see them off to the side. They're like little food people because I love drawing food. So for a pretzel, I like to do it like this. You kind of make a big rounded shape like that, and then you curve it around. Oh, this one's gonna kind of be wonky. Let me try that again. All right, kind of curve it around like that, and then you curve it around like that. There we go. That's kind of like a generic pretzel shape, and then you can like beef it up by making it like a kind of snake, which a snake is another thing I want to draw. You can make it as thick as you want it to be, but that's kind of like a pretzel shape. Very simple. Or if you want to get fancy with it, like this pretzel, I did like a twist where they're actually twisted like a real pretzel would be, which is a little more complicated, but it's a fun way to do it. But I'm gonna just do this one for now. All right, so I'm already like kind of starting to run out of room, which is fine. I'm just gonna shrink these down a little bit so I have a little bit more room. So let me tell you what I did. I'm going up here to the transform tool, which is a little arrow. And then you just kind of take one of these blue nodes on the side, little circles, and just make it a little bit smaller. So now we have more room for more things. Okay, I really want to do a pencil. So I'm just gonna draw that as like a big rectangle to start with a triangle on the top. It's great when you're drawing if you can reduce things down to simple shapes. It will really help you out. And then you can add details to make them look not so basic. So, you know, rectangle, triangle, and then down here we'll add like, you know, like the metal part is another rectangle, and then the eraser is like a rounded rectangle. And then here I'll add little kind of V's, like a little W for the leg, you know. Well, see, mine looks like a pencil, but it doesn't look like that. You know, when you know how pencil looks. It's like wavy right there on the edge. And then the black part right there. And then there'll probably be some like lines coming down, maybe some lines there like that. Super simple. Okay, let's head over here. And let's see. Ooh, I really wanted to do a ukulele. Somebody suggested musical instruments, and my musical instrument of choice is the ukulele, so I'm gonna do that. So for the ukulele, I'm gonna start by drawing like 2 ovals. One is a little bit bigger than the other one, so you can see that one's a little bit bigger. And then I'll kind of connect them with curved lines like that, because the little sound hole will be about right there. Probably don't have enough room for my neck of the ukulele, so I'm just gonna use my selection tool, which is this little S. Select that part and just move it down. So that way I have a little bit more space. And then the neck, just 2 lines. And then there's a couple ways you can draw the, I don't know what that part is called, but where the little tuning pegs are. I'm gonna do it kind of like, almost like a diamond shape that's like chopped off at the top. So it's kind of diamond, almost like a hexagon. And then I'll have 4 little things for the tuning pegs and 4 little pegs that stick out. And then I don't think I have room for 4 lines here, but I'm just gonna draw 3. That's okay. There we go. If you have room for 4, go ahead. So there's my little ukulele.
So what are you using again for your sketching brush right now?
I'm using the colored pencil brush from my Kids Make Art set, but any pencil brush will work for sketches. Let's draw, let's see, we have our doggy. Let's draw a little kitty. So for the kitty, I'm just gonna draw like a big circle like that with some ears, kind of go up, kind of like that. And then a nose. I'm just gonna draw kind of like an oval. We'll zoom in so you can see, with a little U underneath it. So it kind of makes this cat nose shape. And then the eyes are almost in line with the nose. They're like slightly above it, but they're still pretty low. I don't want them to be, you can totally change the look and feel of a face by like putting the eyes in a different place. Like to me, that doesn't look like a cat. I don't know, it looks like some other animal. And the lower the eyes are, the cuter it will look too. So that's kind of why I did that. And then we'll just draw some whiskers and a little kind of J shapes for the mouth. So cute, so simple, really cute. All right, let's see what else. Ooh, I know another thing that I wanted to draw was a teacup. And I have this teacup that in my house that I bought at Disneyland, which is just, it looks like the teacups at Disneyland, like the ride. So I want to draw a teacup that kind of looks like that. So for the teacup, I'm going to start with an oval. And then it kind of goes in a little bit, but then it turns into like a cup shape. And then it'll kind of flat on the bottom. So it kind of goes in and then out. This is almost like a big, like an S curve, but very subtle. And then I'm going to draw the saucer as well. And I could like try and freehand it, but I think a better way to do this is to use the quick shape feature. So to do that, you just draw an oval and then you don't let go, and it will become this like movable thing. And you kind of get it close to how you want it, and then you can let go. And then if you go here where it says edit shape, now you can like move it around and resize it. So I'm gonna kind of put the center of it right at the bottom of the cup and then get it kind of exactly how I want it to be. So that's handy if you want to get like, you don't want to have to redraw it a bunch of times to get it perfect. You just want to get it where you want it the first time. That's a really handy tool. And then just tap anywhere to get out of there. And then let's draw a handle, which the handle will go out, kind of come in, and then maybe have like a little, I don't know, a little nub or something there. Thicken that up a little bit. And then I'm also gonna draw the decorations too. So I'm gonna have like a stripe going there. We'll add a little foot to the teacup. Probably have a stripe going around the saucer. And then there's like these swirly patterns that you'll see that are on my mug that are on like one of the teacups at Disneyland. Kind of like they're like swirls, but they're kind of like angular, like that. And then there's these little like stars. There we go. Cute little teacup. Okay, let's see. I think there's a couple more things I want to do, like an ice cream cone I thought would be fun. I'm starting to run out of room. I'm gonna resize my pencil just a little bit. Oops. Oh, I did the ice cream cone. What am I thinking? What am I missing then? Oh, the roller skate. That was one I really wanted to do. Okay, so roller skate is a little more complex than some of these other illustrations, but bear with me. I think we can all still do it. So I'm gonna start with the top of the skate, and then I'm gonna draw essentially like a boot shape. So I'm drawing a line down, and then another line down, but not all the way, and then it becomes kind of angular like that. And then, there we go. So there's kind of like a basic boot shape. One thing, I've drawn quite a few roller skates. Oops. I'm gonna erase a little bit. So I wanna select the colored pencil as my eraser. So I'm gonna tap and hold the eraser tool, and that will choose that brush as my eraser. So that's a little tip. One thing I've noticed about skates is that like the top, it's not like completely flat on the bottom. It kind of goes up in the front, kind of like that. And I just know that because I've observed a lot of skates and drawn a lot of them. So it's one of those little things that you notice that makes it look a little bit more realistic, you know, even though we're drawing like kind of a cartoony thing. All right, then we're gonna add like the metal part that goes there. I'm gonna zoom in a little more. And then the little brake thing, you know, that like triangular plastic thing. Little stopper. And then I'll just draw the wheels. I'm trying to get the proportions of it right so it doesn't look too weird. But again, it's just a sketch, so you can always like change things. And then these little lines just to connect the wheels to this metal part. And then like the center of the wheels. I think I might make this a little less triangular, maybe a little more of a toe. There we go. That's cute. And then for the laces, I'm gonna just draw a line that follows that and then kind of curves up. So kind of like, almost like a J shape. And then some like little lines that go like that for the laces, and then a little bow. And I'm gonna make a little fun little swoopy, you know, give it some style, like that. There we go, cute little roller skate. And I think it looks a little stubby. So this is like if you want to adjust your drawing, but you don't want to adjust the whole thing, or you don't want to redraw the whole thing. This is where I like to use the liquify tool. So I'm gonna go over here to the adjustments menu, and then I'm gonna go to liquify. And I'm gonna get the brush size that I want, maybe a little bit bigger. And I can just like, oh, maybe that's too big. Just like pull the front of it out a little bit and make it a little longer. And these look a little weird, but that's okay because it's just a sketch. You know, they kind of got distorted, but that's totally fine. So yeah, now it's not quite so stubby. So I use liquify all the time to kind of adjust, just little adjustments. Okay. All right, I think we're doing pretty good, you guys. Did I get everything? Oh, I wanted to do a snake. Running out of space though. I'm just gonna move my, oops. I'm gonna move my pretzel over there. I'll move my teacup over a little bit too. And I'll move the skate down. Okay, I think that's some room. Good, I got some room now for the snake. So for the snake, I'm just gonna draw it in kind of like almost like a figure 8. So I'm just gonna lightly draw the shape I want it to be in. Maybe like that, and we'll put the head here. So like really lightly doing it, and then I'm going to come in and draw it in the shape and like thickness that I want. So the top of the nose is kind of flat, and then it's like this diamond shape for the head of the snake. So we've got it flat, and then it's kind of like a diamond. And then we can just make it thicken this line up. like that, and then thicken it. Oops. I'm kind of trying to make it thinner at the end than it is at the beginning. So kind of like that, little snake. Okay. All right, I think that is all the little doodles that I wanted to do. So now we're ready to move on to coloring. I'm gonna check in, make sure we didn't have any questions before we move on to that part. How we doing, Jeff?
We're doing really great. Over on Instagram, Jado asked a good question. Is Liquify better than Warp? Does it maintain clarity of pixels better?
No, it doesn't. To answer your question about the pixels, no, it doesn't. Your pixels will always be distorted a bit when you transform something. But in this case, since it's just a sketch, like I don't really care about the distortion. But if you're working at high enough resolution when you're, drawing, it's not going to matter too much that you use Liquify a little bit. If you stretch something out a ton, it's going to look weird. But Warp is not as fluid. Like it's you can get in there and finally like stretch things out and stuff with Liquify. You can't do that with Warp. So, okay. Let's go ahead and I'm just to start out, I'm gonna arrange these so that there's space in between everything so I can set it up as kind of like a sticker sheet. So we're gonna eventually have like white borders around all these, so we wanna make sure there's enough space in between each of them. So to do that, I'm just gonna zoom it out a little bit like that. And then I'm gonna go over to the actions menu, which is the little wrench. And then I'm gonna go to canvas. And then I'm gonna go to crop and resize. Okay, and all I'm gonna do is just I'm just dragging the corners out and just adding a little bit of space so that I can spread these out a little bit more and arrange them and I have room to work with. Because I can always go back and crop it down more if I need to. So all I did was drag the corners out just to give me a little bit more space. And already they're arranged fairly well, so I'm not gonna have to do too much. But I am just gonna kind of spread them out. So I'm just going to my selection tool. It's set to freehand right now. And I'm just gonna select around them and just kind of move them over a little bit. And if you wanted to rearrange anything, like now is a good time to do it. If you're planning on printing it as a sticker sheet, then you might care about how things are laid out, right? We're not gonna worry too much about that right now. We're just gonna have fun making stickers. So let's see, move the pencil over a little bit. So yeah, I'm just kind of rearranging things. Like these two are really close together. But I think I might move the ukulele over there and move the snake over there because I think it'll fit better. So I'm just gonna select the snake, oops, and go to my transform tool, move it over there, select my ukulele, move it over here, like that. I'll have to move that roller skate over. Okay, there we go. I think the snake fits, but I can make it a little bit bigger too. So yeah, just rearrange things, get them the size you want them to be in relation to the other items on your page. There we go. Come on. There. There we go. Maybe I want to make the skate a little bit bigger. Maybe I want to make, I'm having trouble today. Sometimes Procreate does this to me. I need to message them because like I get stuck. Now everything is kind of frozen. So I have to quit out of it. So if you ever get frozen like this, like I am, like I can't tap on anything, nothing's working, here's how you can force quit the app. And you might lose a tiny bit of work, but not usually a lot. Like I might lose the last transformation that I did. So you swipe up from the bottom until it looks like this, and then you just swipe Procreate out of there, then you open it back up again. And now I'm back to the gallery view. See, like my skate moved back to where it was previously. That happens sometimes. Transform tool is a little tricky sometimes. There we go. Come on. There we go. Okay. All right. So again, just rearranging things, making sure there's plenty of room in between everything. Getting close. Move my teacup. The doggy. And the pretzel. And I think that's pretty good. There seems like there's plenty of space in between everything. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I'm gonna move. No, it's good. I'm not gonna overthink it. Okay, so now at this point, my sketch is complete and I'm ready to start adding color. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up here to my layers, which is these two little squares, and I'm going to tap the plus sign to create a new layer. And I'm actually gonna move this layer below my sketch. I like to always keep my sketch on top of the artwork so I can always see it and I can always refer to it. So I'm just gonna tap, hold layer 2 and drag it underneath. And then I'm going to go to this little N on the sketch layer. I'll just tap that little N, this is the sketch layer, and I'm just gonna reduce the opacity so that I can just like barely make it out. I'm at about 11% on my opacity. And then the other thing that I like to do for my sketches is change the blend mode to multiply. It just makes it so it's a little bit more visible always. So you tap the N and the blend modes are these lists here, and you just go all the way to the top and that one's multiply. And that just helps again so you can see it a little bit better as you're adding your color. All right. So now we're gonna tap into layer 2 and I'm gonna start coloring. I'm gonna try to use as few layers as possible just to kind of keep this like simple. But I am gonna use a few layers to like put things in front of or in behind and to add my details. So we're gonna use layers a little bit, but I'm not like going for this really intricate illustration. So I'm just trying to keep it simple. And I mentioned earlier, I want to use kind of a limited color palette just so everything kind of goes together. I think it will look nice. So I might make some unusual color choices because that's kind of what you do when you're working with a limited color choice. You might not choose how that thing looks in real life, but like choose a color that's close to it or that works. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So it'll be a good exercise in color too. All right. So I think I'm gonna start with green because I'm gonna start over here at this palm tree. So let's go over to our colors and I'm just gonna choose like a nice green, something like that. So I'm kind of like here on the color ring and here. And you know what I'll probably do after this live? So if you're watching in the future, I'll probably save this color palette that I'm going to be using and you can download it. So look for that in the future. For now, you guys can just follow along and try to pick the colors with me. We'll go to the brushes and I'm gonna switch to the fine point marker. The marker is also really nice. It's just not you can't get as precise with it. The fine point marker is great for getting a little bit more precise when you're coloring. So fine point marker. And let's start over here at the palm tree. And all I'm doing is just kind of, might make my brush a little smaller to start out with. I'm just kind of like tracing over my sketch and coloring it in. And I'm just gonna do that. And you can, you don't have to follow exactly to the sketch. If you want to refine it at this, like I want this one to be maybe a little bit bigger or something, like you can do that. You're not married to your sketch. It's just a guide. There we go. So I'm just kind of sort of tracing over that palm tree. And I'm not gonna do the bottom of the palm tree, the trunk yet. I actually wanna look at my drawing as a whole and see where else I could use this green. So I think I could definitely use it on the dinosaur. It will play a role in this rainbow for sure, but I might not do that quite yet. The snake, of course, I think would be nice and green. So that's when you're working with a limited color palette, like look right away and see where it could work before you start getting like untraditional with the colors. So I'll just do this dino next. So again, I'm just kind of tracing over this, but also kind of refining it at the same time. coloring it in. I like to rotate my canvas a lot so that it's just a better angle for me to draw, because there are definitely more comfortable angles to draw at than others. And remember this little like thigh that I kind of added, like a little circle, semicircle? Like now it just becomes a part of the leg. I'm gonna do this the whole thing in one color. We'll make his tail a little bigger so it meets up, like that. Do the same thing here. Do the other two legs. Do the neck. There we go. And then I just color the whole thing in. Very simple. I'm not gonna be doing like a lot of shading. I'm gonna use lines to kind of define things where they need to be defined instead of shading. So I'm not gonna like have a light source or any, you know, I'm trying to keep it really simple. I'm gonna be kind of like shapes and lines. So dinosaur shape, and I'll probably only just like add an eyeball on that, or I could add a line to separate the legs, but I don't even know if I want to do that. That might be, you know, might be too much. I don't know. All right.
What dinosaur is this, Lisa?
It's a generic dinosaur. I guess a brachiosaurus, or a diplodocus, right? Diplodocus,
yeah,
that's my son's favorite, I think. I just like to say diplodocus. It's a fun word to say.
And someone did ask if it was a brachiosaurus.
It's not a brontosaurus, I don't know how old you guys are, but when I was a kid, we had the brontosaurus and they decided, nope, no more brontosaurus.
And then which brush are we using again?
So I'm using the fine point marker for my Kids Make Art set. But I'm glad that you asked, because I'm actually going to switch to just the marker brush for the snake. So I'm just switching from fine point marker to marker, because this one is a bit bigger. Like I can even make my brush size a little bit bigger. And I think it would be nice just to kind of do that. I might not get the whole thing, but you know, if you use a bigger brush, you can do a snake shape in like one fell swoop. It's a lot easier than like going on the edges and coloring it in. I'm going to switch back to the fine point marker brush now to kind of get in here and do the details,
and
the head.
Real quick, what layer are we on right now?
So right now we just have 2 layers. So the sketch layer was the pencil, like all these sketches. And now I'm on layer 2 and I'm doing all the green. We'll have a few different layers, but I'll make sure to tell you guys what we're doing and stuff. And then I'm just drawing the end of the snake in like that. Okay. All right, let's see where else we might use green. I'm probably gonna do this rainbow all at once, so I'm not gonna worry about that. But let's switch to another color now, shall we? Before I do that though, I am going to save this color just in case I need to come back to it in a color palette. So I kind of skimmed through this, but if you need to create a new empty color palette down here, you can go down here to palettes, and then you just tap a plus sign and you tap create new palette, and it will create an untitled palette, and I could just call it, I'll just name it, why not? Stickers. And then I go back over to disc down here at the bottom, and then there we go. I have my color palette, and then I just tap, and I've got that color green saved. Easy. All right, so I'm gonna do yellow next. So I'm gonna go over and find a nice yellow that I like. It's kind of a warmish yellow like that. I'm gonna make sure that I like it. Yeah, I think that's a good yellow. So I'm gonna just go into my color palette and just save it right now. So I've got my green and my yellow. And I'm gonna start with this pencil because I love a yellow pencil. As you can tell from my Apple Pencil, this is a sticker from D-Brand that I got, dbrand.com. Not sponsored, I just like it. I'm just gonna color that in. And I kind of like it to look a little imperfect. That's what I like about this marker brush is I don't know, it might be hard to see on camera, but there's like variations in, you know, it's not just like solid flat color. It looks like you did it with marker, so. And I like that kind of hand done look. And even if there's like little white spots, that's fine. I like that. I like the way it looks. Okay, what else? Yellow. I think my dog says I'm gonna do probably like yellow, orange, green, and blue are my colors. So for my dog, I think I'm gonna do it orange and yellow. So the orange will be the darker part. So maybe I'll do that first. I'll come back to that. Let's just, you know what? Let's just go ahead and switch over to orange now. Okay, I'm gonna choose an orange that I like. So I'm kind of, I don't know, right there. And I'm choosing like a really saturated orange. If I wanted it to be more brown, you know, you'd go down here, but I want a nice saturated orange. This is where you hang out in this disc when you want really saturated colors, and I hang out there a lot. Okay, so let's go back to our doggy. I'm just going to trace around this part here.
Now, real quick, just as before you're starting this, did you put your sketch layer, why did you put the layer below the sketch layer and not on top of it?
So I did that because, let me move it down. You guys don't need to follow along. So you can see here, I put it below now, and when I start drawing over it and coloring it in, I'm covering it up. So now I can't really see what it's hard for me to see where my lines are. That's why I keep it on top, because it makes it easy to see. So I hope that answers your question. Move it back. Just makes it so I can always see it. All right, I'm gonna color in this part of the ears, just kind of the outside of the ears like that. And then this whole part. Okay, and I'll do the same over on this side. So I'm doing the outside of the ears, and then this part of the face. Color it all in. There we go. And then for this part, the like bottom parts of the mouth flaps are darker on the dog, on this dog. So I'm just gonna draw like a line for that. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna do the rest in yellow. But while we're here, I'm gonna do some more orange stuff. Like I think the pretzels are kind of a bread color, which is like brown, but I think orange could be a nice stand-in for that color. So that's why I'm gonna make my pretzel orange, because it's kind of like brown. It's like probably the closest color in my color palette to brown or tan, you know, pretzel color. So again, I'm just tracing over my lines, coloring them in.
And which brush are we on again?
I'm back to the fine point marker. Yeah.
To get all of our detail?
Yeah, just to get the basic shapes. I'm gonna do a lot of the details with that pencil brush, but I'll let you know when we'll switch to that one. So there's my pretzel. If you want, you can thicken it up by just like tracing around your lines a little bit. If you wanted your pretzel to be a little bit thicker, just add some more thickness to it, like that. I'll make this one a little bit thicker. Remember, I said you don't have to be married to your sketch. You can improve upon it as you go. There we go. And if you ever like, it's also a good idea. So like I said, since I'm changing the way it looks in my sketch, my eyes can kind of be deceived by the sketch line. So it's always a good idea to occasionally go into your layers and just turn off your sketch layer. So you just uncheck this little checkbox, just so you can see how it actually looks. Like here, I can tell that this line is probably a little, like I thickened everything up, but then I didn't thicken that part up, you know, like so it's helpful to look at your sketch and see how it looks like by itself versus with the sketch layer without those drawn in details. Okay, but I'm gonna turn it back on for now so I can keep going. All right. What else can be orange? I think orange would be a nice color for the ice cream cone, because it's kind of like the pretzel where it's like a bread color, kind of like a light brownish kind of color. So I think that the ice cream cone can be orange. I'm not worrying about, so you might be wondering why I'm not drawing around these scallops. That's because I'm gonna put the cone on a different layer. So it's gonna cover up all this area. Like if you know, you can just like make another layer and put something on top of it, then don't worry about what it looks like underneath. That is the beauty of layers. There we go. All right, got our ice cream cone. And I think maybe on the roller skates, like the wheels can be orange. I think I'm gonna do like blue skate, orange wheels, and then some colored details for that. Okay. All right. Let's do, you know what? I'm gonna do a pink color because I know I want my ice cream to be pink. So let's do that next. I'm gonna go to my colors and make sure I save my orange in my palette so I have my green, yellow, and orange. And I'm gonna go over to pink. I like a reddish pink. I like my pinks a little warm, so it's almost into red versus like being down here in magenta. And let me just see how that looks. I think that's a great pink. So remember how I said I'm gonna put the ice cream on a different layer. Whenever there's things in my drawing that overlap and they touch, overlap or touch, but they're different colors, I like to put those on different layers. So I'm gonna actually create a new layer to do this top of the ice cream cone. So I'm going up to my layers. I'm gonna tap the little plus sign. So now we have layer 1 with our sketch, layer 2 is on bottom with all the stuff we've drawn so far, and now we have layer 3, which is in the middle of those. And I'm just going to trace over what I had drawn.
So I was asking a good question. Why aren't you just using color drop and filling everything in?
That was a great question. Here's why. So here's a circle. And if I use color drop, okay, well, hold on. Let me, okay, I just adjusted my color drop threshold. I have a video about how to do that in case your color spills everywhere, but look at this. See how it's like, this is solid, but this is like nice and textured. Color drop just fills with completely solid color. There's no texture to it. So if you want your drawings to look like they have like texture, like this, see all that? Color it by hand. Don't use color drop. You can add texture after to things, and that's definitely a way that I do digital art sometimes, but you won't get these like haphazard, like, you know, like natural coloring lines. So that's why I didn't use color drop. I like to color. This is the look I wanted to go for. I wanted it to have this hand colored look, so I colored by hand. I wanted it to look kind of like it was done with markers, or, you know, almost childlike, I guess. I don't know. There we go. So see how there's all these like variations, and some parts are more opaque and some parts have more texture, and it's totally random. That's what I did by hand. And now that I'm looking at this pink, I think it's a little too dark. So I'm gonna actually adjust my pink. And this is good because I just started with pink. And this is the only thing on this layer right now. It's just this ice cream cone. So I'm gonna use the hue, saturation, brightness adjustment to get the pink I want exactly. So I'm gonna go over here to the adjustments menu. It's a little magic wand icon. And I'm gonna tap where it says hue, saturation, brightness. And then I'll tap layer. And now I can adjust it completely. I fine tune colors all the time using this adjustment. So you can like change it to a completely different color if you want. You can make it more saturated or less saturated. You can make it lighter and darker. You can tap and reset all those things with your finger if you tap, reset. So I'm just gonna, like, I feel like I want it to be a little lighter, just a little bit. Because that's how I am about colors sometimes. Sometimes that little bit of color will make a difference. Like this pink and this orange were almost the same exact value. So I want my pink to be a little lighter. And now I'm just gonna select this color with the eyedropper by putting my finger on the page and then choosing it. So I'm just choosing it, trying to get a nice opaque. There we go. And then I'll save that to my palette. So I've got the 4 colors now. All right, and while we're on pink, let's go ahead and color some more things pink. I think I will do this eraser for sure. And this doesn't touch the yellow, so could have been on the same layer, but it doesn't really matter because it's not touching. How about we do the kitty in pink? So again, I'm just outlining it. and then I'm just coloring it in. And here's where I said if you wanted, you could get like the marker brush, it's a bit bigger, and color it in faster. But coloring things in faster, sometimes you trade off those random hand coloring marks. Like if I was to use that small brush and color it in by hand, I'd have a lot more randomness to my coloring than like using a really big brush. Okay. Oh yeah, I said I wanted this to be pink. And I think I'm gonna switch to blue now. Oh, yeah, I'll switch to blue. So my last color is gonna be blue, and I'm gonna choose kind of like a warmish blue. So I'm almost in the green area here. And then almost completely saturated. I'm not all the way at the edge, I'm just a little bit in. So that's the blue. I'm gonna check it to see if I like it. Like I think I'll do this in blue, which I like how that looks with all the other colors. Maybe a tiny bit lighter. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. So I'm gonna do the teacup, and I'm gonna do the entire shape. I know there's kind of like the saucer and the cup, and one is in front of the other, but I'm gonna do it all as one shape, and then I'm gonna use some line work to kind of separate them out, so it doesn't look like a big blob. Draw this little handle. Color it in. Okay, then I'm double checking that I like that blue. I think I'm gonna adjust it a tiny bit. So I'm gonna actually select, since there's other things on this layer now, I'm gonna actually just select this part. So I'm going up to my selection tool and just drawing a circle around it. And then I'm going to my adjustments menu, hue, saturation, brightness, and I'm gonna make it a little greener, a little maybe less saturated, a little brighter. I like my blues like kind of warm, so you don't have to get that crazy about your colors if you don't want to, but color is pretty much my life, so I'm like kind of particular about it. All right, there we go. Looks good. I'm gonna select this color now, and let me see, save it. All right, that's my full color palette, aside from some darker versions of these colors that we'll use for line work and details. I think I'm gonna do my ukulele in the same color, so we'll make that blue. You can make it any color. Like I could have done it brown because the ukuleles are usually wood, but you know what? There are painted ukuleles, which I own one. I have a ukulele that is blue. Actually, it's almost exactly this color, huh, Jeff?
It is, yeah.
It's almost exactly this color. So you can make it whatever. You can make anything whatever color you want. There's no rules. I just, I struggle. I've struggled with a long time with making things not the color they are in real life. It's hard to like break out of that and like be imaginative with color. But the more you practice at it, the better you'll get at it, and that's true with anything. So just practice with it and try with it. I'm gonna also do the roller skate in this color. There's a lot of things in this little corner of my drawing that are blue. That's okay. Oops. So I'm just outlining just the boot shape. This is gonna be like metal, so I probably will bring in a gray to do that. Like I don't have to make everything in this color palette if it doesn't make sense. I just wanna bring in maybe a little gray. And that's fine too. Okay. Okay, we're getting there, we're getting there. You know what? I'll do my rainbow now that I have all my colors. So I'm gonna start with pink. And I'm actually gonna switch to my marker brush because it's a little bit bigger. Like I said, it was helpful for the snake because it was a bigger brush. And it's also kind of squared. It's like a little more squarish than the fine point marker is kind of roundish. So I'm just gonna draw this part, maybe a little smaller. I'm gonna draw my first little stripe, and I'm gonna actually make it a little bit wider than it needs to be. And I'm also gonna make it go down further than it needs to be because I'm gonna erase that away. So the pink is a little bit bigger than it needs to be. And now I'm gonna do orange. And I'm kind of overlapping the pink. So that way there's not any like white space in between. So I like these marker brushes as they are opaque. They're a little transparent, but they're pretty opaque, so you can use them to cover up other parts. Real markers have transparent inks, so you couldn't lay yellow over a darker color. It would just look like see-through. But it's digital. We get to do whatever we want. I designed this brush to be a different way. All right, I'm gonna do yellow now. See, the yellow covers up part of the orange. Oops. And I'll make it, again, bigger than it needs to be. And then green. Not exactly following my sketch because that yellow stripe is pretty wide. And last color is gonna be blue. And this one I want to be this thickness that I want to be because I'm not covering up anything else. So there's my little rainbow. And then I still have for my eraser the colored pencil brush selected, which I think is fine. You know, it doesn't exactly match the marker texture, but it's okay. I don't mind. Kind of has this cool, I don't know, grainy texture. So I'm just kind of erasing part of it away like that. Fun. I like it. You can erase as much of it as you want. All right, we got a rainbow. All right, now it's time to start using layers to add in the rest of our colors. So I think I'll start with the palm tree since we started there. So the palm tree green part is on this layer, layer 2, and I want the trunk to be behind the green part. So I'm gonna create another layer that is behind or underneath the part with the green. If that doesn't make sense, let me know and I'll re-explain it. But hopefully it makes sense. All right, I'm going back to my fine point marker brush now to keep going with my shapes. So see how I can like, the top of it goes behind the green, like that. That's why I put it on a layer underneath, so that it can, like the top can hide behind the green part. All right, what else needs more stuff? The doggy. So I wanna do the other parts in yellow. So this layer will work great because the dog orange parts are on the layer right above it. So I'm gonna use a layer right below that. I'm gonna grab yellow from my palette and I'm just gonna color in all these areas, following this line on the bottom. See? And I don't have to worry about getting it like perfectly lined up with this edge because it's on a layer behind or underneath the other color. Okay, let's see what else. Need some stuff. I think we're really just down to the pencil and the skate. Everything else has all the colors that it needs before we start adding detail. So let's do the skate. So I said I wanted this part to, even though it's not in my color palette, I'm gonna make this part gray like metal. So I'm just gonna choose like a light gray. So I'm kind of at a little bit above 9 o'clock there. And what layer am I on? I'm on a layer, let's see. I'm on a layer below the boot and the wheels, so that's fine. That'll work just great for this. So I'm just coloring that in, gray, and this too, little triangle shape to connect the wheels. Okay, and I wanna add maybe like a yellow stripe to the boot. So I'm actually gonna go to the layer with the boot and I'm gonna use Alpha Lock. And what Alpha Lock does is I wanna draw a shape just like that is exactly within this boot shape and not have to like worry about it going off the edge or something. So I can use Alpha Lock to do that. To turn it on, you just take 2 fingers and you swipe to the right, or you can tap it and you can choose Alpha Lock from the little menu. I'm gonna grab yellow. And now I can only, look, I can only draw within that shape. So that's why I thought it would be handy to add this little stripe detail. There we go. Super fun, super easy. And then I'm just gonna turn off alpha lock. I use this gesture a lot, just swipe to the right with 2 fingers. I don't often use the menu because it's more tapping, so I use the gesture a lot. All right, last thing is we have our pencil. We need some silver for the end. I kind of want to use silver for that. So I'm going to go to this bottom layer to do that because it's behind the yellow. So I'm just going to choose like a gray color, fill that in like that. I'll do that again. There we go. Just kind of coloring in between the two. And then I'm gonna do like a brown. I could use the orange, but I think it's not gonna work that well. So I'm going over to orange, and I'm choosing like a desaturated orange that's kind of light. So I'm about right there for the pencil color. It's about this color here. And then I'll color that in, make it nice and pointy. I don't have to worry about down here because it's behind the yellow. Okay. And then to do the point, like the graphite part, I'm going to use alpha lock again. So I'm on this same layer I just drew on. I'm going to do 2-finger swipe to the right. That turns on alpha lock. Again, you can tap it and you can see that alpha lock is turned on. You'll also notice there's like a checkerboard pattern behind the little thumbnail. That's how you know it's on. Then I'm going to get like a charcoaly gray color. And then I can just do this. And just color in that tip. And then don't have to worry about getting it perfect because it's alpha lock. All right, cool. I think all the shapes and everything are colored in. I'm gonna turn off alpha lock on that just in case. So now I'm ready to just add my line work details and then we'll be all done drawing the little illustrations. Are we doing good on questions, Jeff?
We're doing really good. Someone was asking earlier, is merge down the same as pinching the layers together?
Merge, yes. Yes and no. Merge down will just merge one layer down. So if I tap on this and choose merge down, it's only going to merge with this layer right below it. If you want to merge multiple layers, you can squish them all together, just like that. It's a good question. But we haven't merged any layers or anything like that. You can if you need to, but I'm just going to leave these all separated out. Okay. All right. It's time for our line details. So for the line details, I'm going to create a new layer to use for that. So I'm just going to tap plus. This layer is above the 3, color shape layers. So if you want to review our layers, we've got the top one, which is our sketch. We've got a new one, which will be our line details. And then we have 3 layers for all of our shapes and the different parts of the shapes and things like that. All right, so now for my lines, I'm going to create darker versions of these colors for the lines. And I'm gonna kind of use that. So that way I'm kind of in the same color family, but I know I'm gonna need some darker colors to make stuff pop and stand out. Like for example, none of these colors would look very good as on this. They're all kind of in the same value, meaning like lightness or darkness. So we need some darker colors. So I'm gonna start with this blue. So I tapped on the blue and then I'm just gonna go find like a darker version of it. So I'm about right here now. And if I were to draw, you can see like that's how dark it is. It's always good to like see that I'm overlapping these to see if it's like contrasty enough. And I think these 2 colors look really nice together. So I'm gonna save that into my palette, like right under the blue. So I've got that version, I've got the like darker version of it. All right, now we're gonna switch brushes. I really like the colored pencil for adding detail. It's nice and textury, but it's also good for lines. So that's the brush I'm gonna be using for pretty much all my detail. So for the teacup, I'm just gonna trace over the top, like opening of the cup. I'm actually just gonna color that whole thing in. Go. And it's okay, like leaving a little bit of texture so it looks like it's colored in by hand. It doesn't have to be completely colored in, is totally fine. And I think I'm gonna actually, for this one, I'm gonna outline the whole outside of the cup. That's gonna give me that separation between the saucer and the cup. And then I'm gonna draw my little line here. I'm gonna draw my kind of angular swirly pattern. Awesome. My family and I are actually thinking of doing Alice in Wonderland for Halloween this year. My little girl, who is 4, and she's got blonde hair, and she looks a lot like Alice, and she's really into that idea, so I think it would be really cute. And then the bottom of the cup. Here I'm just gonna add like a little line right there to kind of separate this from that. I don't really wanna outline this whole thing. Just a little line to separate the handle from the saucer. And then I'm just gonna add the stripe on the saucer, like that. And that's it. Like, I don't need to outline everything. Just enough to kind of make things stand out from, you know, what they're on top of, and I really like how it looks. So let's do the ukulele now, because I don't need a lot of detail. I need the sound hole. So I'm gonna color that in. And strings on a ukulele usually are white, but you know, I wanna use my color palette, so I'm just gonna make everything dark. So I'll draw the little tuning peg, twisty things, the little actual pegs, and then my lines. Can I fit all 4? No, I'm just gonna do 3. That's okay. And then the little part where they connect down at the bottom. And then also we need some frets. Don't fret, just add some frets. Yeah, something like that. There we go. Super simple. Keep it simple. Try and simplify as much as you can. You don't need to make it completely accurate. Like, you would look at that and still say, hey, that's ukulele. All right, well, I have this dark blue. I think I'm gonna use it to do the blue on for the laces and that whole, all those details. So I'm just gonna trace over this line, and I'm gonna just draw on the laces like that. And then the little bow like that. Maybe I'll do it one more time. There we go. And then I'm gonna add like a darker orange inside here. So I'm gonna go to my orange, and I'm gonna choose not just a darker version of it, but a redder version of it. If I start going just darker orange, it's gonna look brown, and that's like too, I want it to be a little bit more saturated than that. So I'm actually, instead of just going straight into dark orange, I'm gonna go closer to red and like add a tiny bit of darkness. So now it looks like that instead of that brown color. So I'm gonna save that. And that's how I like to do colors. If you want your work to look more saturated in color, like, you know, change your hue, not just your lightness and darkness. I do that a lot with greens too. My darker greens are usually more cool, like they're closer to blue than, and my lighter greens are like kind of more limey green. The skate is looking pretty good. I'm gonna actually grab white, and I'm just gonna add like another little stripe just for fun. I think it could look cool. You could add a different color too. It doesn't have to be white. You could add a pink stripe there. I'm gonna erase that little bit that went too far. Cool, I like the way the skate is looking. While I have white, I am going to add some salt to my pretzel just by drawing kind of like little, my salt kind of looks like sprinkles, but that's okay, that's why I like it. You could do it as like little, you know, like little dots or squares or something, but I kind of like it to look like sprinkles. So I'm just using white to do these because I think it would look better than any other color. Let's go over here to a kitty. Now, I think I'm gonna use this dark blue instead of like, actually here, I'm gonna get the pink. I wanna do a pink nose, but I wanna do a dark pink nose. So let me get my dark pink color now. I'm just gonna choose that pink and then choose like a darker version of it. see if I like how it looks. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna save that pink. So now I have my dark pink. And I'm gonna do the nose in the dark pink. But like if I were to do this like and choose like quote unquote natural colors, I'd probably use maybe like black for the eyes and mouth, but I'm trying to use my colors and not black, so I'm gonna choose the dark blue instead. Because it's like, I think that's gonna be the closest thing to black, like the darkest color, perhaps. And I think it looks nice with the pink. So I'll do the little mouth and then the whiskers. So cute. I really like this, the way the pink looks with this kind of teal, dark teal color. All right, let's do our doggy too, because I think I'll do the same thing for the dog. I'll do the nose in this teal color. And maybe go like that, and then the eyes. And I think this worked out really well with this dog because this dog usually is black and white and then it has black eyes too, and they're kind of hard to make them stand out. So doing it in like an unusual color made it so the eyes stand out quite a bit, which is cool. Let's do our palm tree. I'm gonna get my dark orange and I'm gonna just add some like diagonal lines like that. And then the other way too. So we have kind of like this waffle crisscross pattern. I need a dark green now to do some details on the green. I don't have a dark green yet, so I'm gonna select the green. And I'm gonna find a darker version of it. And like I said, I like it when my darker greens are a little cooler, like towards blue. That's just my preference. So let's see how that looks. Love it. I think that looks really good. So I'm gonna save that green color and then add just like a little line down each of these just to add a little bit more detail. If you want, you could add like little lines this way, you know, but I kind of want to keep it simple. Cool. Where else might we need this green? How about the snake? So for the snake, I could draw some lines like this, but I kind of want to use Alpha Lock to keep my colors within the snake shape. So I'm going to go to this layer with the snake body, which is, for me, it's layer 2. I'm gonna turn on Alpha Lock. Again, 2-finger swipe to the right, or you can tap and choose Alpha Lock. And I'm actually gonna switch to my marker brush for this instead of the colored pencil brush. And I'm just gonna draw, because this is a nice thick brush, some stripes. And I think that looks really cool. Really easy way to add some like stripes to my snake. You could make them thinner or thicker. It depends on how you wanna do it. I think that looks cool. What else needs details? The pencil. Okay, so for the pencil, for yellow, I'm not gonna choose a darker yellow for kind of the same reasons I didn't choose, like darker yellow kind of gets muddy, or you can go closer to orange to get a darker version, but I already have an orange. So I'm just gonna use that orange color to do my like lines on the pencil. So I'm going back to the layer with all the line work, which for me is layer 5, right below the sketch layer. Going back to my colored pencil brush, and I'm just gonna use that orange to add a couple lines there. I think for these, I'll probably just get like a darker gray to add some lines on the pencil like that. That's pretty much all I need for the pencil, so I'm gonna do the ice cream next. So this is gonna be very similar to the palm tree, actually. I'm gonna do like a waffle pattern using that dark orange. Da-da-da. And I don't mind that it kind of goes off the edge a little bit. Adds character. And you know, maybe I'll add, I'll go a little lighter with that. Like a, I don't know, like a strawberry sauce on top just to make it a little more interesting. Why not? Or maybe a cherry on top would look cool. Maybe I'll do both. I'm just gonna add this strawberry sauce. I don't know. Just something. You could do sprinkles on it. That would be cool too. I'm probably gonna make this a little lighter. All right, Just real quick, I'm just selecting this and going to hue, saturation, brightness, and lightening it a little bit. And then I'm gonna get like a red to make a cherry on top. That's cute. Just my cherry is just a circle with like a line coming off. And if you want, you can add a little doot on the end. Very simple. Okay, did I do everything? Oh, you know what? Our dinosaur and our snake have no eyes, so let's do that. While I have red selected, actually, I think red would make a nice tongue for my snake. So I'm just gonna add like a line with kind of like a V shape coming off the end. And I'm gonna I'll do black for the eyes for this one. And just 2 little ovals for my eyes. So there's my snake all done. And then the last thing is my little dinosaur. He needs an eye too. And I'm just gonna give him an eye like that. You can give him a mouth too if you want. That's kind of cute actually. And you could, you know, if you wanted to, you could add some like, I don't know, stripes to your dinosaur or like spots, or maybe I'll add a few spots, why not? Sure, just have fun with it. Okay, that's cool. He's got a little bit more details. All right, but other than that, I'm pretty much done with my illustrations. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off my sketch layer just to make sure I like how everything's looking. So I'm just gonna go to layer 1 and uncheck it. And I think that looks pretty good. The ice cream might need a little definition. I'm just gonna use this pink and maybe like draw a line like that. It's up to you. Sure, why not? And then maybe like here on the pretzel, I'm gonna get like the dark orange and just draw some lines to kind of like separate the, like where the pieces of dough overlap, like that. And I think everything else looks pretty good. Yeah. All right, so I'm really happy with how this all turned out. So now I'm going to make them into stickers. Before we move on, do we have any questions before we go do all the sticker stuff? I'm gonna draw a little line here. Just to kind of separate out the front and the back legs. I don't know. You could do that or you could not, it's up to you. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna go up to the layers. And so, first of all, I wanna say the next steps that I'm gonna teach you might be optional depending on what kind of stickers you're gonna make. Like if you're gonna print your stickers from Sticker App, or some other companies are the same way, they will automatically add the white border to your stickers, so you don't really have to do this step. All you really need to do is go to your background under your layers and turn it off. And then, I know it looks kind of weird right now, but don't worry about it. And then you go up to the actions menu, share, and you share it as a PNG. And all this information is in those videos that I'll send you guys. But that will send it as a picture with a transparent background. So the next steps might be optional depending on how you want to make your stickers. But I thought it would be fun to show you how to add the white borders because it just makes it look like a sticker and it's like very satisfying. And if we have time, I might even show you how to make like a faux digital sticker like appearance. So we'll see how that goes. So this is actually exactly how I need it. I need the background off. So if you haven't done this yet, go up to your layers, go to the background color, and then just uncheck it so that your background is transparent. All right. And now the next thing is I need these all merged onto one layer, but there's a non-destructive way to do this. And non-destructive means it's reversible. It maintains all these layers. We're not gonna do anything we can't undo. So to do that, you just take 3 fingers, you swipe down, and that's going to pull up the copy paste menu. Again, that was 3 fingers, swipe down, and it's gonna bring up copy paste. And you select where it says copy all. And copy all selects everything that's visible. And then you swipe down with 3 fingers again. Whoops. Come on. 3 fingers. And you choose paste. And now you see I have a layer with everything but I also have all my other layers. Just in case I needed to go back and edit something or change colors or whatever. Like I wanna maintain those layers separated all out. But I do need them all merged onto one layer for the next step. So I'm gonna tap and hold this checkbox of this new layer that says inserted image. And that just turns off all the other layers. So now I only have this layer selected. Okay, the next step is to duplicate it. So you're gonna swipe to the left and choose duplicate. So now we have two of the exact same layer. And now I'm gonna go over to the adjustments menu and choose Gaussian blur. Gaussian blur. And then choose layer. And now we're gonna blur this layer, not a lot. This is gonna help us make our white outlines really easy. So like about 10% is good. The more you blur it, the less precise your outlines will be. Like it won't hug the curves as much. Experiment with it, like on your own, like turn the blur way up and then do the next steps I'm about to teach you and you can see like how it affects it. But I'm about like 8.5%. I think that should be okay. Okay, and then we're gonna go to the selection tool.
Well, someone was just asking, wait, I didn't get the copying part.
Okay, that's fine. I'll do this part again. So this is the important part, so I'm just gonna do that whole thing again. Okay, so I have my layers right here. I've got my background turned off. I'm gonna swipe down with 3 fingers and I'm gonna choose copy all. Okay, and that's gonna copy everything that's visible right now. And then I'm gonna swipe down with 3 fingers again and choose paste. Okay, and so now everything that's visible is now on one layer and I still have all my other, like all my separated out layers. So I can always go back if I need to change things or whatever. Then I'm gonna tap and hold that checkbox, that just turns off all the other layers. So now I just have this new layer visible. And then I'm gonna swipe to the left and choose duplicate. So I just have that twice. Okay? All right. And I show you how to do this in those sticker tutorials too, but I'm glad to repeat it for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to the adjustments menu and I'm choosing Gaussian blur layer, and then I'm blurring it to about 8 to 10% or so. There we go, like 9.5%. Now it looks weird, but bear with me, so it's gonna make sense. Now, once you've done that, you're gonna go to the selection tool. It's a little S, and we're gonna switch now to automatic selection. Okay, it's down here in this toolbar at the bottom, automatic, it's the first option. That's very important. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna tap, not where any of your drawings are, like in the middle, and then you're gonna slide your pencil back and forth to adjust how much outline you want. So I just wanted to explain it before I do it. So I'm gonna tap, and then I'm gonna slide this way, and you see like the black outline around everything? See, if I go this way too much, that's not what we want. We want black outlines, so I'm gonna go to the left until I get about there. And then I'll let go. I'm gonna do that one more time. So I'm tapping somewhere in the black, and I'm sliding back and forth until I get a nice black outline around all of my drawings. Okay. Then the next step is also very important. You wanna go down here where it says invert. Okay, so what that has done now is it's made a selection around the edges of all of my stickers, essentially. And that's gonna be the white outline around the stickers. So it's like a selection that's a bit larger than your actual piece of art. If you guys need me repeating that, let me know. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the next step now. Are we good? You guys good? Okay. All right, so now we're gonna add the white. So I'm gonna go over to the layers, and I know you can't tell, but there is a selection. Like if you look really closely, there's like diagonal lines kind of moving around. I'm gonna create a new layer. Okay, I'm gonna go to my colors, and I'm gonna choose white. And a quick way to select white is to double tap. double tap close to white and it's gonna snap to white. Okay, so we just selected white. I'm gonna go back to my layers. I have my new empty layer selected. I'm gonna tap it and I'm gonna choose fill layer. Ta-da! Okay, so this is what it should look like at this point, just like a bunch of white blobs. All right, so we're gonna actually move this layer down now. So we're gonna tap, hold it, and move it below those two layers. And then we can delete or just deselect the one with all the blurry shapes. And now we have stickers, voila. And so if you're gonna like do stickers on a Cricut or something like that, you do need to add these white outlines. Although I've heard from somebody that they just added a feature that does this for you. But if you wanted to make faux digital stickers or something like that, this is a way to do that. So it's pretty easy, especially once you get the rhythm of doing that. It's really easy to add these white outlines and they look so cute. So did we have any questions pop up during that section, Jeff?
No, someone's just asking. First of all, we are saving this video.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
it'll be on our YouTube, of course. It'll be on my tutorials page. bardobrush.com/tutorials is like my full library. And that's the best place to go to watch them because I include other information. I usually include like pictures of the art, if there's a color palette to download or reference to brush set, like all those links and images and downloads, like those will be on the pages on my website. So that's the best place to rewatch things. All right, so yay, we have some stickers now. And you can export this out and you can, you can print it out. There's like all those different ways I showed you how to make stickers. You can find in the sticker resource page with all the sticker videos. But I thought it would be fun to show you real quick how to do like a faux digital sticker look. It looks really fun and I think you guys will like it a lot. So let's do that. All right, so we've got, I'm gonna just delete the one with the blur. Like it's this layer here that's just the blurry version. Don't really need to have it. So I'm just gonna swipe to the left and choose delete. So the only two visible layers now are the artwork and then the white outlines. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a background color and you can choose whatever color you want. Oops, I gotta turn it on first. So tap the button and then you can set whatever color you want for your background. I think maybe I'll do like a blue or something like that. Okay, and I'm gonna add a little bit of paper texture to this. If you have my brushes or if you have my master bundle, the set that I'm gonna be using to do that is from my texture maker set. Where is it? It's down here. Texture maker. And I have a brush called Paper, and this will be really great for adding like a little bit of paper texture. If you have a different texture brush you want to use, you can do that. You can even import a photo of paper onto your canvas, which looks pretty cool too. So I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to move this layer underneath the other two layers. So the ones with the actual stickers and the white shapes. And then I'm going to select this blue color I use as my background. And then I'm gonna go to, I'm just gonna make it a little darker version of that. And again, I have the paper brush from my texture maker set. And I'm just gonna like go over the whole thing like that. And just adds a little bit of paper. I'm just very lightly going over the whole thing and now it has kind of like a paper texture. And then I'm gonna go get a lighter version of that blue. That's not light enough. Make it a little bit lighter. Oh, I think it need to be a little lighter. There we go. All right, I just got a little bit lighter blue and now I have like something that has a lot of depth that looks a lot like paper. So there's like the shadows and the highlights and then the original color and it just looks nice like paper. So all I did was brush with a darker blue and brush over with a lighter blue to get this nice paper texture. And so the other thing we want to do this like realistic sticker look is we need some shadows. And this is awesome. It's really very easy to do. I'm gonna go to the layer with the white shapes. So I'm gonna tap on that layer. I'm gonna tap it again, and then I'm gonna choose select. And it turns to black because it's still got that automatic selection tool on, or you can go to freehand, it doesn't really matter, but it's just gonna select the contents of that layer. And then I'm gonna create a new layer right below it. So I'm just gonna select this paper layer, tap the plus. So now I have a layer below my sticker art and my white shapes. I'm gonna go to my colors, I'm gonna choose black. And then I'm gonna go back to the layer and choose fill. And it's essentially, you can't really see what's going on, but I just filled like those same shapes, but in black. So I've got the white and then I've got the black. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make them look like shadows now. So I'm gonna go to, so I've got the layer with the black selected. I'm gonna go to the transform tool, and I'm just gonna move the whole thing a little bit this way. And there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do it by hand by like moving it, you know, a little bit. Or you can, if you wanna be more precise about it, let me undo that. You can tap, 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 and it will like nudge it like pixel by pixel. So I've just moved it just a tiny bit, just a little bit. There's not gonna be a ton of shadow between the sticker and the paper because they're like right on the paper. So if you, the bigger you have your shadow, the more it's gonna look like they're further away from the thing they're sitting on, like the paper. And stickers are right on top of it, so we don't wanna do that. We want just a little bit of shadow. Like just a little bit, like that. And then the next thing we're gonna do is just blur the shadow a little bit. So I'm gonna go up to my adjustments menu, Gaussian blur, and choose layer. And I'll zoom in so you can see what this looks like, but I'm just blurring them, not a ton, like a couple percent, like, I don't know. The more you blur it, again, the farther it's gonna make it look away from the paper. The sharper the shadows are, the more they look like they're like right on top of something. So I'm only gonna blur it like 2.5% or so. Like it's 2.7%, very subtle. Okay, then the other thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my layers, I'm gonna tap this little N, and then I'm gonna reduce the opacity a little bit. I'm about like 45% or so. Okay, and it's already looking like realistic shadows, but if you want to go the extra little step to make it look a little more or a little less perfect, like these are perfectly perfect shadows, we're going to use the liquify tool to do that. And this is just going to give it that extra feeling of realism. So go to the adjustments menu and go to liquify. And we're just basically going to, whoops, move the shadows just a little bit. Like I'll start with this pencil. And how big is my brush? I'm gonna make my brush a little smaller so I can really just do parts of it. And I'm just gonna like wiggle the shadow a little bit. The further away the shadow is, the more it's gonna look like the edge of the like sticker is like sticking up off the paper. Let me do that again. Like it might look like the sticker's kind of like lifted off the paper a little bit because there's more of a shadow. So it's up to you how much you want to do that. Like sometimes on the edges, like it looks like the sticker didn't stick all the way or something. You can put a little shadow, you know, on the other side. It just adds a little bit of dimension and makes it look a little bit more regular. So I like to go around and just like pull some out, push some in. Like maybe here, the tail is like the side of the sticker. Can you see? Like it looks like the sticker is kind of pulled up a little bit. So yeah, just kind of like go around and you could push some shadows in a little bit and that will make it look like the sticker is really stuck to the paper. I don't know, it's just fun to kind of play around with this and just make it a little bit more irregular. So I'm just going around and almost randomly, unless I intentionally want it to look like part of the sticker is like flipped up or something. think that's looking pretty good. Maybe I'll have, there we go. All right, so you can see, like, even just like zooming out, you can see how it makes it look like there's more dimension, like parts of the stickers aren't completely flat. It just adds this really nice touch. And the last little bit, if you wanted to do like in these parts where the shadows stick out a lot more, you can just kind of like blur them out a little more by using an eraser brush. So you can go up to the eraser, and this is a built-in brush, so you should have it. Go to airbrushing, this is like a built-in Procreate brush, and get the soft brush. It's just like a really blurred out brush. And I'm gonna go a little smaller with my brush size. Just kind of like erase a little bit of that away. Just a little touch of realism. There we go. Sometimes it's these really subtle things that make a big difference. Just like on these really big shadows that kind of stick out far, like this one, just erase a little bit of it away here. There we go. Awesome, that's it. And yeah, so now we have this really cool, like realistic sticker appearance. You know, if you wanted to make artwork that was digital art that looked like it was made of real stickers, like this is a way you can do it. This technique is also great for like paper cut style art, which maybe I'll do a video on that. That would be really fun. Like paper, well, I do have a video on collage, but I kind of want to make more videos like that. So yay. Oh, one more thing. I wanted to show you how to make them look shiny. So if you want to stick around, one last little thing. I'm going to select the same layer with the white shapes. So I'm going to tap it and I'm going to choose select. I'm going to create a layer above all the other layers. I'm going to tap it and I'm going to choose mask. And now basically I have a, it's kind of like alpha lock but different. So I'm not going to explain it too much because we're kind of running out of time, but now I can only draw within these shapes. So I'm going to choose one of my Kids Make Art brushes. Kids Make Art, and I'm going to go to Messy Paint. So that's the brush I'm using. I still have white as my brush, and I'm just going to like, oh, I got to deselect. Okay, deselect. And now I'm going to make sure I'm on this layer here. Oops, undo. Hold on, sorry. Accidentally drew. I didn't want to draw. Oh, come on. I was trying to make it fast and then you mess up. All right, deselect and make sure nothing is selected and that you're on this layer right under where it says layer mask and that the layer mask is turned on. Okay, now I'm going to grab white and I'm just going to add, you almost can't see it, but I'm just adding some stripes across, just like a couple. They don't look like much now, but I'm gonna make them stand out a little bit more. And these are just gonna make them look like they're a little shiny, like a sticker. So I'm just drawing like 2 little diagonal lines over everything. And then on this layer that we just see all those little stripes, we're gonna go to N, and I'm gonna choose add. And that's gonna make it look really wild and crazy, like intense, like it's super shiny. So I'm just gonna turn the opacity of that layer down a little bit until it's as shiny as I want it to be. And then we have this cool shiny look. So here's with and without. See how they look shiny. So if you want them to look shiny too, that's what you can do. Kind of went through that fast, so feel free to go back and rewatch that part. But there you go, that's how you can make some really cool like digital shiny stickers. You can also print your own stickers if you want, using all those tips I'm going to send you about sticker resources. Yay, that's it. Any questions about that before we wrap up and we get into our giveaway? Any questions, Jeff?
Someone just said I tried making the white outline from the previous video that you made,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems as if you have an extra step on this video. Is that true?
I don't think so. I kind of went through it a little bit slower on this one, but that's generally like duplicating the layer, blurring it, and then doing the automatic selection tool, inverting, adding white. That's the same method that I used in those videos. Anything else?
We may just give it another second here to see if anything else pops up.
Okay. Well, let me go over here and I'll talk to you about this, because this is one of my favorite things. Is I want to see what you guys are making. Like, that's my favorite part about doing these tutorials, is getting to see what you guys create. I'm really interested to see if you drew what I drew, or if you drew your own little illustrations and what you made. So please do, if you're sharing, please tag me. You can tag hashtag #BardoBrush. @BardoBrush is my account, or my personal account is Lisa Bardo. And I made a special hashtag just for this tutorial, which is BB stickers. So that way we can all see what everybody else did from this specific tutorial. So if you go and visit this hashtag in a couple days, you might see other people's works. You can see what they made as well. So be sure to use BB stickers as your hashtag. And then of course, @BardoBrush, you can tag me so I can see it. Cannot wait to see what you guys make. Let's go ahead and give you one last chance if you want to enter the giveaway. Just go to bardobrush.com/giveaway and you can sign up there. We're going to close it in just a couple minutes. So this is kind of like last call for getting signed up, and then we're going to get the winners and announce who they are. But again, what we're giving away is 5 master bundles, which is all of my brush sets. We used one of them, which was the texture maker set, a little bit in this, but I have 300 brushes now, which is crazy. I can't believe, like, I realized when I released my last set, which was just this week, it was 300 now. I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's like a nice even number. And then we're also giving away 5 credits of $100 to Sticker App, which is where I got these stickers printed, and they are really nice. I really enjoyed working with them. These holographic ones are super cool, and they turned out really good, and they're so shiny. I'm always so impressed with how shiny they are. So last chance to go ahead and do that. And while you guys are finishing up getting signed up for the giveaway, I just wanted to really quickly talk about Making Art Every Day, which is the drawing challenge that I've been running for 3 years now. This is the 3rd year. And basically what it is, it's daily drawing prompts, tutorials, resources, motivational emails I send out once a week. And we have a really awesome community, all with the goal of helping you establish a daily art making practice. If you want to get better at drawing, my best advice is to draw often and draw a lot of different stuff and try a lot of different things. And that's kind of what Making Art guides you through, is like taking you through a lot of different subject matter, teaching you a lot of different techniques, or like pushing you in ways to try things you might not have tried on your own. And it's really a lot of fun. I really enjoy running this and seeing what everybody does, and it's grown a ton. So if you want to learn more about that, bardobrush.com/joinMAE, and you can learn all about it. All right, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and close the giveaway.
We are going to close up the giveaway, yeah.
Okay, so Jeff is going to do some behind the scenes action. He's going to pull the winners. But while he's doing that, we can take a few general questions, and then once he's got them, we'll announce the winners, and it'll be awesome. So if you have any questions, I am happy to take them. You know, it could be about what we did today. It could be about something else, whatever. I'm an open book. Ask away.
This actually got asked multiple times. How long have you been using Procreate?
I have been using Procreate since 2013, either late 2013 or early 2014, but a long time. So what is that, like 6 or 7 years?
Over 6 years.
Over 6 years.
I was like,
over 6 years. Wow. Yeah, and I really started getting into it like in 2016, because this is where Making Art Every Day actually came from, was because in 2016 I decided to challenge myself to draw something every day, because I really wanted to start drawing. I wanted to learn how to draw. I wanted to like find my style and find my way with drawing and just learn how to do it better. So I was like, well, I'm gonna draw a lot, and that's gonna help. And it did. It helped a ton. And I found like it was so helpful for me, not just improving my skills, but like helping me find a way to express myself in a way that I hadn't before. So it was really amazing. So like 2016 was like when I really started taking it more seriously. And I started like making my own brushes, and then I started selling my own brushes, and then I started teaching, and here we are today. And like the teaching has been the best thing to come out of that. Like I just so enjoy teaching and like helping people find their creativity, because it's been such a powerful thing for me in my life. So that's pretty great. Life story, I guess.
Someone asked, is tracing art?
Heck yeah. Tracing is just a tool. Like you can see even in this video, I traced over my own work. I've traced over photos before. Tracing is a tool, and you can use tools to make whatever art you want. The problem that I think a lot of people have is like the line between like how much you're copying. Like if you're making a complete reproduction of somebody else's work, absolutely that's a no-no. Like you don't want to copy other people's work. But if you're using tracing as a tool, you know, especially for learning, is so great. But even like in your artwork, you know, lots of great artists of the past, like they'd project, like they had this thing called the camera obscura. They would like project something on a wall and then trace over it and paint it. Like literally, like, I don't know, Michelangelo. I don't know who actually did it. But those guys way back then, yeah, tracing is a tool and it's great. Very useful. All right, you got another question, Jeff?
Yeah, I do. Is your house as colorful and whimsical as your art?
Yeah, I think so. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Probably not as much as I would want it to be, because painting rooms is a lot of work. But we have a lot of art. It's very colorful. I like to bring color in wherever I can. You will be hard pressed to find anything like beige or gray or, you know, anything like that in our house. We do have a lot of color.
Someone's asking, do you always draw on the iPad or do you draw on paper as well?
That is a great question. I do draw on paper sometimes, and I actually like to do things with my hands. Like I like watercolor painting. You know, like digital is amazing, and like I use it probably 90% of the time, if not more. Because it's easy, you know, it's accessible. I've got all my colors and my brushes. I've got everything there. I don't have to make a mess or clean anything up. It's amazing. But you can get what people call it digital fatigue, where it's like you just want to work with your hands sometimes. So like I'll get out my watercolor paints and like, you know, crayons or pencils or whatever. And like it's refreshing to do that too. And it's actually really important, I think, to expose yourself to different kinds of making art so you can have more of a well-rounded skill set. Because when I work physical mediums, it really does influence how I work digitally too. So both are wonderful. I just do digital most of the time.
Someone's just asking, where are the winners going to be notified? Well, we're going to announce them here. And then a few hours later, you will receive emails with your master bundle or your gift card, your $100 in credit.
Yep, we'll announce the winners here, and then we will also email you a little bit later today.
How do you decide what to draw?
Ooh, well, that's a great question. It depends. Like, for me, I keep like kind of like a file of inspiration, you know, like Pinterest, or like I save things on Instagram. And a lot of the times it's like subject matter where I'm like, oh, that's a cool turtle. I want to draw a turtle. I'm going to draw a turtle, or whatever it is, you know? Yeah, I like to get a lot of inspiration from art and, you know, and often from real life too. Like that's one of the things that I don't do enough of is like go out into the world and live and get inspiration from that, because like this last year has been really hard, and you know, it's still weird for me. I just did a post about how weird life is right now with going out and living life and things like that. But I need to do more of that, like going out and experiencing life and letting that inspire me too. It's just as important. It's more important, if not, than getting inspiration from other artists and things like that. But if you aren't sure about what to draw, that's why I created Making Art Every Day, because that's often a big barrier. When somebody sits down and they open up their Procreate, and they're like, I don't know what to do. And they put it away. And so that's why I made Making Art Every Day. There, every single day of the year, 365 days of the year, there is something for you to draw. So I want you to like overcome that barrier of like, I don't know what to do. And I don't know how to do it. So, okay, let's have some tutorials. Like, I want to help you overcome whatever barriers there are to having you make art. Like, that's my goal. You got another question, Jeff?
There's so many. So what's your favorite color scheme?
I'm pretty much, yeah, what you guys saw today. I hang out in these colors a lot, which is like pink, orange, yellow, you know, light and dark. Like here, there's a lot of this in my house. This like aqua teal combo, but I also love pink, orange, green, yellow. I love yellow. So this is why we ended up in these colors for this drawing, because because I like them so much. So it's probably one of my, like, I mean, here, yeah. You can see these stickers over here, kind of like the color palette that I like. But it's always good to try other things. In fact, on my website, I don't know what's in my Safari right now. So bardobrush.com/free is where all my free resources are, including the free brushes that we were using today, the Kids Make Art. And I have, the thumbnails aren't coming up, but I have free Procreate color palettes. So this is a great way to like challenge yourself. Like just download one of these color palettes and then work with it and see what you can make with it. Like you could redo what we did today, but with a completely different color palette. And you're like, where would this pink work? Or where would this yellow, you know, like, it's good to push yourself beyond where you're comfortable. Like I tend to go where I'm comfortable a lot with colors, which are like these like bright kind of spectrum of rainbow colors. But it's also good to try new things. And that's when you really start making discoveries and things like that. So yeah, you can download, like all those color palettes are free if you want to download them. Oh, and I should mention, I also have a tutorial that links about how to work with a color palette and how to choose colors and, you know, how to choose which one goes where in your drawing. And like this will show you like a balance of, you know, your dominant color and then the like supporting colors or whatever. So that's also really helpful. Color is awesome. I love it.
All right, well, we have our winner, so we're going to start that announcement.
All right. Yay. So the first things that we're giving away are 5 of my master bundles, which are my complete collection of Procreate brushes, 300 brushes, 15 sets, plus my magic paper, which is like these textured canvases that give you really amazing realistic textures. But you get all of it. Yay. So let's go ahead and get our winners.
All right, so first up we have Antonio Zepeda.
Antonio Zepeda, congratulations, you have won a master bundle.
Janine Bolnay or Bolness.
Sorry if we're butchering your names. Congratulations, Janine, you get a master bundle. We'll be emailing you a little bit later about that.
Amelie P.
Amelie P, congratulations.
Cambry Broadhead.
Cambry Broadhead, congratulations. You're getting a master bundle.
Last but not least is Marissa Blupo. Yeah. Marissa B.
Marissa B. Sorry with the name butchering. Yay! Congratulations to all the winners of master bundles. We'll email you guys with all the details about how to get them. Super excited for you guys. All right, next giveaway. So sticker app, I kind of talked about them a little bit, but they are where I printed my professionally printed stickers from, and they came out really nice. I really like using their website. I really enjoy them a lot. And so they gave us some credits to give away. We have 5 $100 credits. You can print quite a good amount of stickers with $100. Like one of the other things I really liked about them is like their prices were reasonable. Like it wasn't, they have low minimums too. So if you only want to get a few stickers, it's not that bad to get, you know, a small amount of stickers. Like there are lots of reasons, which I talk about in my ordering professionally printed stickers video about why I really like them. So yay, let's do that. We have 5 credits to give away, $100 each.
All right, first one is going to Lisa Russell.
Fabulous name. Love it, Lisa. Congratulations.
Next up we have Savannah Palma.
Savannah Palma, congratulations. You're gonna make some stickers.
Sarah Kapperman.
Congratulations, Sarah Kapperman. You get to make stickers.
Deb DeMarteau or Desmarteau.
Oh yeah, I know you. You're in our group. Hey, congratulations, Deb.
And last and not least is Jasmine Johnson.
And Jasmine Johnson, congratulations to all the winners. I'm really excited for you guys. Again, we will be emailing you the details about how to redeem everything. Yay, so excited for you guys. Again, we'll wrap things up. I'm Lisa Bardot. I make awesome brushes for Procreate. I make videos and I love to teach, and I run the Making Art Every Day project, and that is what I do, and I have so much fun doing it, and I'm really grateful for everybody that could join us today. I hope you guys had a lot of fun making stickers. I hope that you maybe want to make stickers out of them, and again, I'll send you guys all the details about that. And I can't wait to see what you do. So have a wonderful weekend and happy art making. Bye-bye.